Greetings, programs, and welcome to ArcNeo Reviews, where I'm finally going to do something that's quite a bit overdue, actually. So, anyone who watched my channel when I first started, shockingly almost a year ago now, you might remember that I used to actually bother with size comparisons, and one of my main comparisons was always Leader Class Overlord. So, I figured today we'd bring him back into the mix, and we'd actually talk about him as his own figure. So, really quick, actually, a little bit of trivia and just some things to note about this video. The Japanese version of this figure is actually quite a bit different, at least in terms of it actually coming with two headmasters and things like that. Because in the Japanese version of the story, this actually, this character was actually piloted by the husband and wife team of Giga and Mega, I believe. So there are quite a few regional differences, as well as the Japanese version has a combine mode where actually if you get two of the same figure, you can put it together into Gaia Overlord or Terra Overlord, something like that. Earth Overlord, basically. But because of that, and I am actually trying to get a hold of the Japanese figure, I'm not going to cover the base mode, and I'm not going to go over, anything about how that combination will work, because it would actually work with the just two of the American version as well. But I figured I'm going to save a few things for when I finally find that Japanese version, and I actually have two completely different versions of this figure. But, really quick, enough prattling. We'll take a look here at his headmaster, or Titan Master as they were. Little dreadnought. As usual with these Titan Masters, it's very simple, upside down face. Like I said in my Mind Wipe video, I'm not going to go over the articulation on these guys because it's exactly the same on all of them. I'm just going to show you what they look like from now on. So, that's what Dreadnought looks like. And he can actually ride in either of the alt modes. There is a little cockpit right here on the tank. He just sits right down in there. As well as there's a cockpit on the plane, which, as I understand, is supposed to be like a stylized SR-71. Not sure how much I buy that, at least for this version. They might have stylized it more than the original was. But, it actually can be very hard to get the cockpit open. But from the base transformation, there's also a panel on the bottom. So, for some reason, you can actually pull off the nose cone. I have no idea what purpose this serves, but you can pop this off, which lets you just open this panel up, and then you can get Dreadnought seated, tab his little foot part in right there, and then put him in through the bottom. And if you want, while this is open, go ahead and actually get a grip, do this correctly, try not to crush the headmaster as he goes in. But there you go. So, go ahead, get him out of here, put him off to the side. This is actually from that era where Hasbro decided to go back to stickers for a while. And I do wish they would have let us apply the stickers. Some of these they did not get on that straight. This guy they did mostly okay with. I have actually at least attempted to clear coat the stickers to get them to stay on. So even this one that's like peeling up on the edge, it is still clear coated into that position, so it's stiff and it's staying there. But unfortunately it was peeling back so bad that even after the clear coat it just went right under the coat. He doesn't have any real landing gear, but he does have a little skid spot right there and little actual landing skids here. You can fold those up. Again, not a ton to go over. It is just a great big lump of jet with, Overlord's chest on the bottom. Then the tank is also pretty simple. It's just a big, lumpy tank. It's got 3 wheels on it. The turret does not move in any way. It's just a great big lump. And pretty hefty too, I have to say. For the size of this thing, this is solid. Which is part of why I've loved this guy so much. He's got a really good weight to him, especially for a modern figure. So, like I said, not covering the base mode. When I finally get the Japanese figure, we'll actually look at that. So, instead we're just going to go straight to robot mode. So, first thing you're going to want to do is pop off this, pop off the turret, which does peg in very, very tightly, so I will be wiggling this for a while to make sure I don't have anything just break on me. Okay, 1 second. Finally. As you can see, yeah, I have even tried to sand this down ever so slightly, and it's still just a nightmare to get that thing out. But, yeah, just go ahead, pop this out of there. Then, these side pieces actually are tabbed in right here, so you're going to just kind of work them a little bit to untab them. And as well as get the top to split. And then just rotate this up and around, which will fight you a bit, but do that, flip it around. Then you're actually going to grab these pieces and just rotate them around. They will lock in and both fill out the legs from the back and give them a nice, completely solid front. Come down here and open up the feet. Oh, and this part of the foot is on a double hinge. I have not transformed this guy for a while, so I do apologize if I make a couple mistakes. But there you have Overlord's legs. So moving on to the jet. First thing you're going to want to do actually is just rip off the nose of the plane. And then come in here and you're going to want to fold this little peg out, which can be a little tricky. Then you'll have to keep it up while you fold the landing skids back in. But go ahead, just get this like that, put it off to the side. Then you're going to grab the rest of the jet. You're going to unpeg the thrusters from the side. Pull down to expose the elbow joints and everything. And if they haven't, on their own, just fold up all the fins flat as they get. Rotate out the hands. Take this piece, it's on a double hinge, just fold it back all the way like that. Rotate around the little helmet. And then there's a big gaping hole right there. Just go ahead, slide these together. They'll lock in. Then come up here, open up the head, or the helmet, take the little guy, fold him over, and pop him down in there. He'll lock in. Close the helmet. And there you have Overlord. And this guy he's so cool. There's a reason that when I was bothering with size comparisons, I always used him. He is definitely one of my favorite figures, even if I usually manage to forget a few steps. He traditionally does just, live on my shelf forever in robot mode. So, go ahead here, give him his gun, and then you're supposed to basically just take the nose of the plane. That will peg up here into his shoulder, and it's supposed to be kind of a shield-looking thing. I can kind of see it, but it also does look kind of weird. So, do what you want with it. You can also just take it and, plug it back onto his back, get out of the way. If you actually get things lined up here. So, you do have that as an option if you don't mind a little more back kibble. His peg managed to stay behind. It will do that from time to time. It's actually kind of funny. I always hear about how floppy and loose transformers are. I seem to always manage to get the ones that are just impossibly tight somehow. But he does also have chest panels right here that open up, and you can fit, you know, Prime Masters or Titan Masters in there. Definitely a gimmick that works a little better if you have the Japanese version that came with, you know, Giga and Mega. So you could actually have, you know, the spare head in his chest. There's also supposed to be a way where while he's in jet mode, you open this up, and these panels will, like, grab a hold of the tank. It doesn't work very well, and frankly, it's not worth messing with, because you'll sit there, you'll fuss with it, and then it'll just, like, immediately fall apart. So, yeah, I'm not going to waste your time or mine. Articulation-wise, the head can only rotate, since it's got, you know, the big helmet on there. Arms can rotate all the way around. You can go out about that far till the cones get in the way. It does have an elbow rotation, a little bit over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. Nothing really at the hands unless you want to just start, you know, pushing them back into his forearm. Completely nothing at the waist due to how he plugs together. Legs can kick forward, you know, all the way, kick back. Basically all the way if you don't have the backpack there. You can do the full splits, and then some, actually, if you want to use this transformation joint in the knee. He does have a thigh rotation right there. Not quite 90 degrees at the knee. And then he does have an ankle tilt, and you can fold his heel and his toes down if you need to for whatever reason. But yeah, this guy, he's definitely worth getting a hold of. He tends to be on Amazon for around 20 bucks, even still. Like, I got mine, actually, not long before I started the video, or started my channel. And I know I'm sitting here kind of futzing with them. You always have to remember, I'm sitting here, you know, doing this whole thing at arm's length, reaching around a camera on a tripod and stuff. You will always have a better time than me when you handle these figures, because you're going to actually have to hold them in a normal, reasonable position, not hunched forward doing this, trying to, you know, dance, monkey dance, and all this crap. So I do apologize if once in a while I make a figure look really fiddly, and you happen to like that figure and you know it's not. I'm in a fiddly position. Everything is fiddly to me, unfortunately. But yeah, this guy is really solid, actually. I kind of wish he had ratchet joints, but at the same time, he's a couple years old, and his joints all seem to be holding up just fine. So there is that, at least. They did manage some actually good joints on him. And it's still just an incredible figure. Even for leader class, he was one of the larger leader class figures around his time. So definitely worth picking up. Like I said, there's more stuff this guy does. This video has already gone on long enough, though, so I will, someday when I can get the other version of this guy, we'll look at the differences, and then I'll just focus on, you know, the combination, the base mode, and things like that. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.